are the two teams that Phil Simms came back to beat from 17 points behind?
Man, you think this is going to get me? I mean, you know I'm a football historian, let alone a deep-rooted Phil Simms historian. So that would be the New Orleans Saints, 1986. I think that was week 4. They were down 17-0, came back and beat them. And then I don't remember the week exactly, but a Monday Night Football game against Joe Montana and the 49ers out in San Francisco. They were down 17-0 at the half and came back and beat the Niners 21-17.
All I remember from that regular season is when that SOB made the throw on 4th down to beat the
Fourth
Vikings.
and 17
on
the sideline, Bobby Johnson toe tapping.
Okay, you get the first pick. Matchup draft. Off we go.
All right. Well, I think one that's just I'm excited to see, just from a mano-a-mano standpoint, is the Miami Dolphins Denver Bronco game, but Tyreek Hill versus Patrick Surtain, right? Surtain, Sauce Gardner, Jair Alexander, they're the top corners in football. Diggs and Dallas, for my money. And they're going to put them in some situations where they're going to go, no, you got to man up and do this. So I'm excited to see that. I think if Denver wants to win this football game, they're going to have to take some chances and maybe put him on an island a little bit more than they would like to stop all the other things that Miami offense does. So that's one that caught my eye from the get-go. Arguably the best corner in the game against the most dangerous receiver in football.
And Tyreek Hill, limited with an ankle injury in practice on Wednesday. Jalen Waddle in the concussion protocol. If Waddle can't play, you can devote even more resources to trying to neutralize Tyreek Hill. I'm going to go to Washington, where everybody loves the Commanders. They're 2-0. The subplot here, though, is Eric Bieniemy versus Sean McDermott. It's got shades of Chiefs-Bills, and Bieniemy getting a ton of praise for what he's done with that offense so far. Sam Howell looking good. The Bills looking great on defense last week. They really got things sorted out after the Monday night opening loss to the Jets. But it just feels like mini Chiefs-Bills. Even though the Commanders don't have the sizzle the Chiefs have, Bieniemy has that sizzle, and it's Bieniemy versus McDermott that I think creates the extra intrigue.
No, it is cool. And like Washington's fun to watch on offense. They're not perfect. The quarterback's a little crazy, but he makes plays. There's no doubt about that. And then the other thing I like what Bieniemy is doing as compared to what in Kansas City, he's staying patient with the run game. I mean, Brian Robinson and Gibson, they have been a part of the game plan and been impressive that way. So, I really like what Bieniemy's done with that Washington Commanders football team. There's no doubt about that. I think I'm going to go to the Patriots-Jets game next and just go to Nathaniel Hackett versus the Belichicks and Gerard Mayo, whatever, the defensive coaches on that there's got to be, there's got to be more to the Jets offense. They got to rethink some things here and be a little bit more creative, whether that's motions, shifts. As you heard me yelling during the game, right? At one point, I was literally yelling, can we just max block things up and let the guy drop back and feel comfortable so he could throw down the field? And then he threw a touchdown pass to Garrett Wilson like the very next play after I said that. There's got to be a little bit of a change in approach here. And I know it's not easy because they expected life with Aaron Rodgers. But the Patriots certainly have had their numbers, and the Jets got to bring some new wrinkles to the table if they want to get this win this weekend.
If there is a must-win game on Sunday, it's in Minnesota where the 0-2 Chargers face the 0-2 Vikings. And I'm going to go Brandon Staley versus Justin Jefferson because what did Brandon Staley, the head coach and basically a defensive guy, he's responsible for everything, particularly the defense. What did he do week 1 against Tyreek Hill? Singled him most of the game. You do that to Justin Jefferson, you're going to pay for it repeatedly. Gave up 215 yards to Hill in week 1. How many will Justin Jefferson get? He currently leads the league with 300, and the Vikings had a couple of extra days to get ready for this one. That, to me, is a huge wrinkle in a very important game for both of those teams, Chris.
Yeah, huge game. Huge game for both. It feels bigger for Brandon Staley. That's what I'll say to that. I mean, it seems like the spotlight and the pressure is on him in a big way right now.
Early bye may help him If that bye was week 7, week 8, week 9, it could be bye-bye by then. But it's probably going to be too early. They got a week 5 bye. It's probably going to be too early for the Chargers to make a change if they're even inclined to do it.
But this Titans D-line, they're stout. It's what is it, 65 yards per game right now they're letting up in the rushing department. All right, and of course the Saints got a pretty good offensive line, and the Chargers ran the ball all over the place on the Dolphins in week 1 and couldn't run the ball a lick last week against that Titans defense. So I'm excited to see that right there because I don't think the Browns are going to be able to rely on that run game. And if they have, then they're going to have to rely on that pass game, which is very iffy right now behind Deshaun Watson and company.
I usually hate doing a game you already did. I think I've done it 2 weeks in a row, but this is a very different take than the one you articulated for the game between the Dolphins and the Broncos. This is Sean Payton versus Mike McDaniel / Vic Fangio. Fangio, former head coach of the Broncos. Payton was the guy the Dolphins were going to hire before Mike McDaniel when they tampered with the Saints and tampered with the Bucks. And this is McDaniel's opportunity to face off against the guy that Stephen Ross wanted to hire and ultimately rob McDaniel of a first-round pick because of the tampering penalty that was levied against the effort to get Sean Payton. So there's some drama there. There's some intrigue there as the Dolphins and the Broncos prepare to get together, Chris. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.